Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it appears that Raid has dropped a teaser for the next up and coming champion added to the game, and I believe it's going to be a login reward champion, just like the Ninja, the Alexander, the Deliana, and Ultimate Death Knight. And just the way that they're presenting it, the way that they're teasing it, it kind of looks like it's appearing to be that way. But I did want to talk about the champion that's potentially going to get added, because they did drop a lot of hints here on what it's going to be about, and I did want to talk about what we can basically expect and what we can hope for. So I'm going to show you the image here that they dropped here. So what we have here is an image of some sort of monk with the fist glowing and whatnot, and I'm going to assume that it's going to go straight into the Shadowkin faction as well. And based off the text here, we have the arenas of Velazar had witnessed the birth of many a legend throughout millennia, yet some still managed to rise above their renowned peers. One such champion shall soon return, she who had conquered the arena. That's a huge hint there. With nothing but her fists, shall stand against the tide of shadow. Now, we have a lot of other text here as far as like I guess it's supposed to be like some sort of like, right, some magazine of some sort or article, right, that they're just like trying to like put in the picture right there. So Tellurian, Gazette, I'm gonna assume the name is Gazette. Yeah. And Doom Tower these days, Raid Fight Club, Best Artifact says, I don't think this really has much to do with her abilities. The anti-Hydra buffs, because they clearly said right here, once a champion shall soon return, she who had conquered the arena with nothing but her fists shall stand against the tide of shadow. Okay, I do want to talk about, now let's backtrack for a second. Some of the champions we had in the past were Ninja, who is a fantastic champion. He was one of the early free daily login champions that we got after, what's her name? Oh gosh, I forgot her name already. Her name was Shaman. Yeah, Shaman. Yeah, so she was like the original daily login reward champion, or the 7-day mark when you're starting out playing the game. And then they switched it over to Ninja for a period of time, and Ninja was a fantastic champion. He is so good, right? Freeze, he's got the HP burn, the detonator as well. He's part of like a lot of like fast teams in the game, and if you start out with this champion, it was just such an awesome champion. At the time, a lot of people were bashing on him, and I've even seen people crunch him, which was, you know, it hurts because a lot of people want a Ninja, right? And they even like they didn't even add him to the pool because I guess it's like under contract or something with the original what Ninja signed, that it won't be released into the Sharp or whatever, I think. But they tried to release another variation of it in the form of this champion here. Well, maybe not this champion. It was this champion. Okay, I can't see it here. Okay, so this champion here is very similar, right, with the HP burns, and not quite a Ninja. So the other champions they added was the Alexander, who is pretty decent as like, I guess like an early game damage dealer. Like, of course, if you book any champion out, if you gear with a lot of good gear, they're going to put out damage. Like even a Magikarp will slap with Savage gear, for instance. Not to say that he's not a good nuker. He does do decent damage, but at this point, would you really rather nuke, like book out an Alexander to have him as your nuker, or would you rather book out an epic champion like Magnar, who is one of the most strongest nukers in the game, as an epic champion, and he only requires epic bugs? So yeah, Alexander was a hard pass for me. The other champions they added was Deliana, who is actually a pretty solid champion. AoE on the A1, Leech, and a lot of other decent utility here. And the last champion we got was Ultimate Death Knight, who is kind of he is a counter to Rhodos per se, but he's not really seen in the Platinum Arena meta as much. So what I'm trying to get to is, a lot of these champions in the past, they weren't really intended for Arena per se. I mean, I guess the Ultimate Death Knight kind of was, but there's no like really insane PvP champion that we got from the daily login reward from the 7 days. The Ninja is amazing for PvE, right? The Alexander is okay, is decent, right? For nuking, I guess, if you need it. And yeah, the Deliana is great for PvE as well. The Ultimate Death Knight he has his niche as well. But so this champion right here, what can we really expect from a champion that claims to be who has conquered the arena with nothing but her fist? Now, what is the biggest problem in arena right now? I wouldn't say problem, but what is like the meta in arena? Slow teams is the meta, right? You don't really have any fast teams in Platinum Arena anymore, because pretty much everyone's in Stone Skin, or people try to like change up some champions into like bolster a lot of shield, right? There's a lot of those kind of variations. So you're not really going to be nuking past anything if you're going too fast, because I mean the Stone Skins there, there's a lot of counter attack teams like Cupidus nowadays. I mean there's so many like there's so much going on where speed team is not really like what it once was, but there are some speed teams that are really solid, like the bomb team, because you go with the Astrolith, you go with your Arbiter, whatnot, you go with your Tuanarak, and then you bomb the entire team, right? You spread the bomb with the Tuanarak, with for example, and then they all explode. So that's like another fast team that's available right now. But fast team is not really a meta in the game right now, not anymore. So what counters these really thick stone skin teams, or just really shield heavy teams? Now, if you are running like a Madam Series or Kymar, for example, who can strip, they're not going to be able to strip everything all the time. And if they can, almost everyone in Platinum Arena that pushes reset has the Sheep Blessing on their defense team. And basically, you're not going to be able to land that debuff on everybody, because I mean, once you get Sheep, that's pretty much it, right? But there's nothing out there that'll really change the meta. And they tried to add something like that with the newest champion that we got, more of the recent champions we got in Alil, who's part of the Sylvan Watchers, because he pretty much does what you kind of wanted to use in arena meta, which is the ignore stone skin and the strengthen and the increased defense and the ally protection, which is really good in the current meta, especially against a lot of Necrit teams, right? Because Necrit is providing the ally protection. You're going to have stone skin on people, right? So he's supposed to slice right through that and pretty much take care of that. But there is reaction pieces, right? That's going to pretty much halt this to some degree. And he doesn't do quite as much damage as people hoped. And I guess it's still kind of too early to say, because empowerment is one thing, the blessing is another thing, the accessories is another thing. I mean, we've had about 2 weeks or 3 weeks now of farming that we can get done, but that's still not enough time to get like top accessories for this kind of champion. And frankly, he just doesn't do too much, not enough damage to want to take up an extra slot in your arena team. But yeah, he's supposed to be that kind of counter. So I don't know what they would add to make this champion a conqueror of arena, and I'm kind of curious what they would do with this. But I don't think they'll add an insanely meta PvP arena champion. Well, they could. It's possible, so that everybody has a shot. So they did add another champion from the Shadowkin faction to help slow down the Platinum Arena meta, and with the Harima. So her passive here is enemy ignore defense effects are decreased by 50%. And she's really hard targeting the demon spawn champions as well, because yeah, so she's going to be stalling out the fights a lot, especially with her on defense. But there's just, I did test with the Baron, and yeah, she does make a team super tanky where my Baron is just not hitting as hard as it should be, right? So that's a huge, it can be a huge counter to Baron. But the thing is, when you place a champion on defense, everything is counterable, right? You can counter every single defense essentially. So a way to counter this is just using a Cupidus team, for instance. I tested a Cupidus against like a really thick composition using Harima, and it's about, yeah, it's like 40 seconds or something like that with the Cupidus composition. Sometimes even going to like a minute 9 seconds or something. So there's always a way around these kind of fights. But I don't know, we'll see. This is something I want to throw at you guys, and I want to get your thoughts and opinion on what you think the game really needs right now as far as a new champion that would shift the meta per se. So I am curious on what this champion is going to do, but I want to throw this at you guys. What is it in the game that you guys expect to see or want to see from this new daily login champion that's going to be someone who conquers the arena per se, right? So share your thoughts down below. What do you think that the game really needs right now that'll shift the arena meta quite a bit? So do share it down below, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you guys have a great time summoning for an Elva. I can't really summon for because I don't have any shards. I went hard for the Mordu Macabre and the what's the champion? Heffrag yesterday. I'm really close to getting a plus for Heffrag because I just need one more, and I just wanted to get that done, and I wanted more Mordu Macabres. And I wasn't really too interested in this champion. I'm not saying she's a bad champion. I'm not saying she's not worth it, right? Well, 20 Sacred Shards, it's a lot. It's quite a lot. But for me personally, I don't really feel the need to use this champion on my account, because I only care about Platinum Arena at this point. And for the Sylvan faction, when that comes out, I mean, the epic champions I have alone, I think it's enough. So those are my thoughts, guys. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you guys enjoy my content in general. And yeah, Have a great rest of your day, and if you do enjoy my content, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next video.